All the attention surrounding the West Virginia Mountaineer football program has been about the hiring of Rich Rodriguez, who's coming back home to coach the Mountaineers. But in the meantime, they do have a bowl game to prepare for, and it's coming up this Tuesday. And in this episode, which is brought to you by BetUS Online Sportsbook and Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner Attorneys at Law, we're going to preview this bowl game between the West Virginia Mountaineers and the Memphis Tigers. We're going to do that right after this message from one of those sponsors. Since 1931, the attorneys at Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner have been the voice for victims who have suffered serious injury or death. They have a fierce passion for truth and justice and a sincere compassion for those who have been wronged by others. Whether you have been in a car accident, are fighting with an insurance company, or you or a loved one has suffered serious injury or death due to medical negligence, we will ensure your voice is heard loud and clear. Katz, Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner will ensure there is justice for all West Virginians because we are your lawyer, your voice. Visit us at yourlawyeryourvoice.com. What is up? Welcome into another episode of Couz's Corner. Come on in and belly yourself up to the bar. Let me pour you out a shot of top shelf college football news and analysis. On tap today at Couz's Corner, we are talking West Virginia Mountaineers Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl game against the Memphis Tigers. We're going to do what I normally do with Jonathan Martin during our weekly Golden Blue Breakdown show. I'm going to give you 3 keys to the game for the West Virginia Mountaineers. I'm going to give you 2 position battles to watch, and I'm going to give you the 1 key player to watch in this game for West Virginia in order for them to come out with a win. The spread on the game right now over at BetUS is actually -5 in favor of Memphis. Just a few days ago, it was -3 in favor of Memphis. So it looks like most of the big money's coming in for the Tigers. Not sure why that is. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the hiring of the new coach. I'm not sure if it's because Josiah Trotter entered the portal. Not sure. But whatever it is, Vegas is favoring Memphis in this game. Memphis is a number 25 ranked team in the country. They do come into the game with a 10-2 record, whereas West Virginia's coming in with a 6-6 record. So on paper, it looks like Memphis should be the favorite. However, we do need to keep in mind that Memphis plays in the American Athletic Conference. It's a group of 5 league. It's arguably the best group of 5 league, but it is a group of 5 league. They have only played one Power 5 team during the 2024 season. That was Florida State, and they did beat Florida State, but we all know the struggles Florida State was having this year. So take that for what it's worth as we break this game down. But as we start off looking at the keys to the game, the one thing that sticks out to me is just with all the stuff going on with West Virginia around this program, Coach Brown getting fired, Coach Rod coming in, all the negativity and the chaos that's been around the program, the transfer portal windows being open. I'm sure there are a few players out there who are trying to decide what they want to do with their future. We've already had Josiah Trotter enter the portal, the starting redshirt freshman linebacker, who's one of the best players on the team. We've had a couple other guys enter the portal too, guys that were not really playing significant snaps though. The number one key to me is just where is the team's headspace? Do they want to be there? Are they going to come into this game focused? Are they going to come into this game wanting to win, really wanting to prove something? Are they going to come into this game and want to play for pride? Are they going to want to play for interim coach Chad Scott? That's another key. Interim coach Chad Scott, his first opportunity to be a head coach of a team. It's only for 1 game, but it's definitely something he can put on a resume. Will these West Virginia players want to come out and play hard for him and get a W? That, to me, is the number 1 key to this game for West Virginia. It's all about their mental space. How bad do they want to be there? And how distracted are they by all the goings-on around the program? But let's remember, this could be a tryout for a lot of these guys. The ones who want to stay with the program, they're going to want to show out for Coach Rodriguez and his staff. And the ones who want to move on, they need to show out for their future team. But we all know these are young adults. These are 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds for the most part. And we all know that sometimes it's hard to keep them focused. It's much easier to be distracted at that age. I remember, I've been there. So, again, how bad will this team want it? And same goes for Memphis. But Memphis has a really good track record in bowl games. They've won their last 3 bowl games by double digits, as a matter of fact. So, West Virginia is going to have to be prepared in this game, and they better come out ready to play or Memphis can get the best of them. The second key to the game, in my opinion, for West Virginia is just playing clean football. I know that's coach speak, and I know you could say that for every game, and in this one, it's even more critical. The reason? Let me read you a few numbers here. Right now, Memphis is 9th in the country in turnovers forced with 24. So they will force turnovers. They will force you to make mistakes, which means West Virginia has to take care of the football. They're also tied for second in the country in turnovers lost. They have only lost 8 turnovers all season. So Memphis is not going to give the ball up more than likely. And we all know West Virginia has not done a good job of forcing turnovers on the other side. So that is not a good statistic right there when you look at this matchup. A team who doesn't force turnovers in West Virginia against a team who doesn't turn it over in Memphis, which means West Virginia can't turn it over on their end either. They also need to play with, few penalties. They need to be disciplined because they need to win in the margins, and they need to win in the small details, the blocking, the tackling. They need to be fundamentally sound because more than likely you're not going to get a turnover here, so you have to win it in other ways. Memphis overall in turnover margin, second in the country in turnover margin. So, again, more than likely it's going to come down to West Virginia taking care of the ball on their end and then winning in every other aspect of the game and being more fundamentally sound. So they need to play good, clean football. The third key to the game, and it's probably been a key in every game this year for the Mountaineers, it's their pass coverage. Can they cover these Memphis receivers? And not only receivers, can they cover their tight ends, and can they cover the backs coming out of the backfield because they will use them in the pass game. And quarterback Seth Hennigan at Memphis does like to use the middle of the field, so that means West Virginia's linebackers are going to have to do a good job of covering folks coming out of the backfield. Might even have to get help from some safeties in that regard as well, especially that spur or safety coming down to help, or that spear rather. Spear coming down to help is going to have to play a key role in this game as well. I'm not sure who that's going to be in this game. They had been looking, they've been playing different guys in that role. Will it be KK Tarnu? Not sure. We'll see. But Seth Hennigan, again, he's 13th nationally in passing yards this year. The quarterback at Memphis. He has completed 291 out of 451 passes for 3,208 yards, 23 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. He doesn't throw it deep a ton. He's 81st nationally in yards per attempt at 7.11. So he likes to work short routes, and he likes to work the middle of the field, but he's very good at it. They're very efficient at it. And they have a receiver in Rock Taylor, who's also a good possession receiver. He's a 6'3", 315-pound receiver who's caught 61 balls for 834 yards and 2 touchdowns. He can use his body to make catches, get position on defensive backs. He's going to be a tough matchup for this West Virginia secondary. So can this secondary and linebacking crew cover these Memphis players, these Memphis receivers, Memphis tight ends, and even the running backs who may make plays out of the backfield in the pass game? So the 3 keys, again, to summarize: West Virginia's mindset, they need to want to be there. They need to want to be there. They need to want to play hard and come out with a victory. They need to care in this game. That's going to be critical. Number 2, they need to play good, clean football because Memphis will likely not turn the ball over, and they do like to force turnovers. So West Virginia has to take care of the football. They have to play good fundamentally, be fundamentally sound. They need to, not commit penalties in the game because more than likely Memphis may force you to turn it over at least one time. So in order to offset that, what do? You play well in every other aspect of the game. And then pass coverage has been one of West Virginia's, or has been the Achilles heel, biggest Achilles heel of this football team. Can they cover Rock Taylor and these other Memphis players with quarterback Seth Hennigan throwing the football? That's going to be critical in this game. Now let's move on to the 2 key position battles in this game. For me, for West Virginia to win the game, it kind of ties right into what I just said. Can the West Virginia DBs cover the Memphis wide receivers, especially Rock Taylor? He's big. He's 215 pounds. He's going to outweigh almost all of these West Virginia DBs. They're going to have to play bigger than they are. I'm going to be anxious to see how well they can do against a big-bodied receiver like him. Now, even though he's known as more of a possession receiver, he can beat you deep. I was watching some of the Tulane game earlier, and he did beat their DBs deep in that game. So he can go deep. Not necessarily what they do a ton, but they can do it. So they better be careful to not get beat deep. That's one key matchup to watch. And on the other side of the ball, the other key position battle to me is the West Virginia's offensive line. West Virginia's offensive line has been one of the best in the country in run blocking. Can they continue that? West Virginia is going to have to be successful running the football in this game, to me. It's going to be hard, though, because Memphis is one of the best run-stopping teams in the country right now. They are 10th in the nation in run defense, giving up only 104 yards a game. So yards are going to be hard to come by in this game, which means the offensive line is going to have to play really, really well. They're going to have to open up holes for C.J. Donaldson, for Jaheim White, so that they can get to the second level. Because if they can get to the second level, this Memphis team, they're not a great tackling team. They have a 65.3 tackling grade, which is okay. It's not terrible, but it's also not great. So I do think that West Virginia, the backs, should be able to break some tackles if they can get to the second and third level, but they have to get there. And this Memphis team is really, really good at stopping that run game. Garrett Green's probably going to have to be critical in the run game as well. He's going to have to give them that third option. And I wouldn't be surprised to see West Virginia break out some odd formations, maybe some trick plays or something in this game. Look, they're going to have to go all out, right? There's nothing to lose here. It's considered a low-tier bowl game, not a lot on the line. I mean, obviously you want to win, don't get me wrong. It's not that winning doesn't matter, but, you're not playing for a championship. You need to go out. You need to have fun. You need to play loose. Maybe throw some trick plays in there if done at the right time. Throw some odd formations that you maybe haven't put on film. Try to do something to throw this Memphis team off balance. And look, one of the games that Memphis lost was against Navy, who likes to run that triple option. Maybe they pull some of that out of the bag. I don't know. But whatever they do, they need to be able to run the football, because running the football will open up the pass game, which is where Memphis really struggles. And I don't want to say struggles, but if there's a weakness on that defense, it is stopping the pass, which I'll touch a little bit more on later. Now, the next category is going to be the player to watch for West Virginia. Before I get to that point, though, I want to remind you that if you're looking for a brand new sports book, look no further than our friends over at BetUS Online. Right now, on your very first deposit, you get a 150% sign-up bonus with promo code YouTube150. Again, promo code YouTube150 gets you a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, and you can get 125% on your next two deposits, up to a total of $2,000. Please make sure you play responsibly. If you or anyone you know is addicted to gambling, please call 1-800-GAMBLER for help. And remember, you must be 18 years of age or older to play. Now, let's get back to the show. What is the one player to watch in this game? Now, I went back and forth here, a couple different options, but the one I kept coming to was Garrett Green. He's a senior. This is his last game in a Mountaineer uniform. Where will his head be? Will he be focused? Hopefully he won't be rattled like he was in the Penn State game, the first game of the season. We all know Garrett has a tendency to get overly emotional, and his emotions can sometimes affect his play. Now, those emotions can also help him to play better and make big plays too. So there's, it's kind of a catch-22 might be the right metaphor there, but nonetheless, can Garrett control his emotions, play within himself, and play well? They're going to need him to run the ball this game, but at the same time, Garrett Green is going to have to make plays in the pass game. He's going to need one of the largest games he's ever had in his career, in my opinion, throwing the football. He's going to need to throw for probably 250 to 300 yards in this game, something he doesn't normally do, something he's normally not asked to do. He is capable of doing it, and he has done it. He needs to do it in this game. He's going to have to get help from some of his receivers like Hudson Clement, Preston Fox, Rodney Gallagher. We all know Traylon Ray's out with an injury. I'm pretty sure I read that Justin Robinson has entered the transfer portal, so he likely won't be playing in the game. Maybe you rely on a freshman. Maybe Dom Collins gets some snaps in the game, the true freshman from Princeton. Maybe Brandon Raymond gets some snaps, the true freshman as well. It'll be anxious to see who steps up in this game. Cole Taylor's going to have to be involved in the pass game at the tight end position. But at the end of the day, Garrett Green's going to have to make plays with his legs and with his arm, in my opinion, for West Virginia to have a chance. Because like I mentioned earlier, Memphis is very stingy in the run on the run defense. It's going to be tough to run it on them. So Garrett's going to have to kind of be that X factor there. And then again, he's going to have to make plays downfield with his arm. So Garrett, to me, is the player to watch. Like I said, I went back and forth between him and some others, but at the end of the day, I know it's the easy pick. It's kind of the obvious pick, but I think in this game, they don't win it without Garrett having a big game. And then finally, the score prediction. Not an easy one to predict. Now, I know Memphis hasn't played the toughest competition this year, but when you watch them, they are a really good football team. And I think they could compete at the Power 4 level, to be honest with you. I think they're that talented. They have a really good running back in Mario Anderson Jr. And you look statistically right here, he has 219 rushes for 1,292 yards, which is 14th nationally. So they can run the football. I mentioned Seth Hennigan. I've mentioned Rock Taylor. They're good defensively as well. They have linebacker Chandler Martin, who has 7 sacks and 15 tackles for loss in the year to go along with 94 overall tackles. And then they have a defensive back in Davion Ross, who has 3 picks on the year and 14 passes defended. So they are good on both sides of the football. So West Virginia is going to have their hands full here. I think Memphis is probably just as good as some of the other teams West Virginia has faced in the Big 12. So it's going to be a tough game. They're going to have to play well. They're going to have to want to be there. Because if they don't, Memphis will win the game and it could get ugly. But at the end of the day, I did pick West Virginia to at least cover the 5-point spread. But I do not think West Virginia wins the game outright. I'm picking Memphis here. I think this is a tough matchup for West Virginia because of how good Memphis is throwing the football. I also think it's a tough matchup for West Virginia because Memphis is good at stopping the run, and they're going to force West Virginia to throw the ball. And West Virginia, it's not what they want to do. It's not their strength. And I just don't think it's a good matchup for the Mountaineers. I do think West Virginia can win the special teams battle, but I don't think it'll be enough. I think Memphis will likely get at least 1 turnover in the game. They're likely going to get some yards in the pass game. So at the end of the day, I think Memphis wins the game 31-28. And it's right around the over-under, which is set right now. Actually, yeah, it's set right now. The over-under is set right now at 59. And I'm right there at the 59 number. 31-28, West Virginia losing to the Memphis Tigers. Let me know what you think in the comments section. What's your score prediction for this game? I want to hear your thoughts on it. Do you think the Mountaineers pull this off and get a win for Coach Chad Scott and impress incoming coach Rich Rodriguez? Or do you think they come out not ready to go and lose the game to Memphis? Or do you think they come out ready to play and just at the end of the day, Memphis is the better football team? I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know. I want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to my VIP channel members of this episode. They are Roy Wall, WVU Mountaineer Lair with Kenny, Joe Romano, Replica, and Michelle Weintraub. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for being paid VIP members here on the channel. Please take advantage of the perks over there. And if you want to become a member, hit the join button below or go to my channel homepage and hit join there. There are 2 levels, the pub level, the club level. Both have different perks. You can read about the perks after you hit the join button. Also want to remind you, as Rich Rodriguez begins his second tenure as the coach of West Virginia, he's going to need our support. He's going to need as much NIL support as possible. One way you can do that, ONIT NIL trading cards. Right now, get your ONIT NIL trading cards with the ONIT Athlete link in my description box, or go to my website, couzescorner.com/shop. Hit the link there to ONIT Athlete. You'll get yourself some really cool ONIT Athlete trading cards, and if you use that link, I will make a small commission from the sale, and 60% of the profits will go to West Virginia Mountaineer student athletes. And if you're not a fan of West Virginia, your team may have ONIT Athlete trading cards as well. Go to the website there with that link and look. And any purchase you make with that link, I'll still benefit from it. So check it out today. Get yourself some cool cards and help out your favorite student athletes in the process. Also want to give one final shout out to my sponsors, BetUS Online Sportsbook and Cass Cantor, Stone Street, and Buckner Attorneys at Law. Thank them for helping me keep the lights on. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you think I've earned all that. I appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to check this video right here out about Coach Rodriguez coming back to West Virginia. I hope the rest of your day is top shelf. and Q Country Roads.